first tip on Thursday out in LA, early tip local time, 4:09 p.m. Arizona and Clemson. Oh boy, Matty Cox, let's talk about it. Arizona did a nice job speeding up both their games in the early rounds. We know the Nets kind of held things up, made it a little harder to get over. That was actually a big talking point. Tommy Lloyd even brought it up in his post-game presser. In their games in Salt Lake City, it was hard to get made shots out of the basket and get going. Should not be a problem here in LA. Clemson's already handled two elite backcourts in Baylor and New Mexico. Might try to keep the pace down in this one. What are you looking at as an angle on this game? Arizona right now laying 7.5 per BetMGM, total of 151.5.
Well, my first angle is the net manufacturers. Are they going to be back in the back in charge here of this region? Because if so, I'm going to be looking to bet unders pretty hard. I have no idea how we can have such an issue at this point in the year, but the NCAA never ceases to amaze us, Kai. I guess the conflicting angles on this game are: can Arizona win in a half-court game? Did they prove they could against Dayton? Does that convince you enough that they can carry that forth and what will most likely be a half-court game against Clemson? Versus, is this Clemson run for real sustainable? Which I think we'll probably get into similar parallels with NC State, another ACC darling, on the other side of the bracket. I've kind of come all the way in on Clemson, Kai. Like I know we talked about how good PJ Hall's been. Chase Hunter's been really that guard revelation for them. Making shots, adding a dose of dynamism to a backcourt that we basically made fun of for not having any all year. And Arizona's perimeter defense has been very impressive despite some cracks that emerged during the regular season, but it's not bulletproof, right? I don't think it's like a hounding Houston level or UConn level defense. I kind of like Clemson with the points just as I looked at the 7.5 opener, but I hate that I'm saying that. God.
No, I agree. And I do believe in Clemson to one of your points. In the preseason, we all liked Clemson, I believe. Thought they were a top 25 team for sure. Definitely could have competed for the ACC title. Obviously didn't work out that way in the conference standings, but they're 10-1 in non-con and they looked legit and they're kind of coming full circle. It is a bit of clash of styles. Yeah, Arizona wants to go out and transition, of course, every single possession. Clemson more half court, but not immune to transition offense. Clemson's transition D, it's okay. It's not great. It will be interesting to see who wins the quote unquote pace matchup. The angle or the matchup I'm looking for though the most is the front court. PJ Hall, Ian Shefflin. It would seem they have an advantage against Umar Ballo. They can both step out and shoot. They've been really good defending the post this season. And Arizona's had a little bit of issues defending on the block. And that's kind of surprising to me, just given that they have Ballo. Paul and Shefflin are very scrappy front court players, versatile. I kind of like them in this matchup. However, Arizona does have, I think, the dynamic guard edge, Jim. And my one worry, though, is Caleb Love, of course. Is he going to get, we're going to get the bad version or the good version of Caleb Love? Is he going to tighten up towards the end of the game if Clemson's close or winning? That's always the question. I agree with Matt. I like Clemson here at +7, +7.5.
It's generally been good, Caleb Love, so far, or at
So
least
far.
median. No, we haven't gotten the disaster game. First round, he didn't shoot that well, but he had 5 assists, no turnovers. Second round against Dayton, not as great of a ball handling game, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, but 6 of 15 from the field. I think Arizona can live with that. It's not a 5 for 22 type of disaster. Impressively for Clemson, they've only gotten 39 total minutes out of PJ Hall so far this tournament. He's got 9 fouls and 6 rebounds. He has been saddled to the bench in both games. And I think that's the fear here too, with Ballo ranking top 100 in the country and fouls drawn per 40, could potentially put Hall on the bench again. And that's just one more game where they're testing how much can Chase Hunter keep delivering, how much can that backcourt and really decent front court depth hold up against Arizona's brutish front line with Ballo and Keyshawn Johnson giving a little more versatility. I have a hard time reading this game on the side, guys. I have a real hard issue with it. I do lean to the under. I think Clemson can slow it down a little bit in Arizona. I know they only played 146 points against Dayton, but 72 possessions, they did speed up a very half-court team there. But I trust Clemson's very, very experienced roster to keep this in the half court. They know they can't run with Arizona and survive. So not much of a lean on the side, but I do like the under. And I kind of like some of the PJ Hall under stuff because I think foul trouble could once again come back to bite him the way that it did in the first two rounds.
To put a bow on that, I think the guy that no one talks about who's been quietly mega important for Clemson is Jack Clark. Super important defender, NC State castaway. I've kind of zoomed out, looked at his like the ebbs and flows of Clemson's season. Like when he's been in there and been healthy, when he got put into the starting lineup, they've been awesome. He's been playing 30 plus minutes. To your point, Jim, if Hall's in foul trouble, I don't think there's any hesitation for Brownell to play him and shuffle him. Like obviously you miss everything that Hall gives you on offense, but I think defensively you still feel like you can compete and you hope your guards stay hot. Hope you can kind of slow it down and execute during those lulls or stretches. So yeah, I guess to your point, I like under and I like the Hall under by association, I guess, if you're looking to bet props.
Yeah, Godfrey's been good for them too. I mean, that is a like big, deep front line. It is not just two guys. Like they can go 3-4 deep there. Even Chauncey Wiggins, 6'10" guy that can slide inside, more of a stretch big, but can help them out there. So yeah, they're not going to get completely bullied. Just worry about the foul trouble of these starters. That's the thing to monitor.